fertility babe. Let's get these babies, ladies. To mix those rainbows in my mind when I think of you. Grand Rising! Hello, everybody. It's 10:26 on a Saturday. It's Saturday, April 22nd. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'm gonna be quick on here. Hey, Mrs. Living in Hope. Good morning. Pretty Brown Eyes, L. Davis, and is it T. Gill 3739? Mrs. Living in Hope is saying hi, Liberty and Justice. They say hi back. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay, I see ones. All right, sounds good. What's good with everybody? How are you doing? I'm going to be quick because I'm actually waiting on the painters for the nursery. But I wanted to go over, there was questions about, well, let me back up. Last live, I did what I got for my postpartum care on my FSA card. And then there were questions of like, how much is going to the hospital? How much is not going to the hospital? Somebody asked me about visitors in the hospital, which I always find interesting because I think people just like to compare. I don't think you're actually going to the same hospital. Otherwise, you would just look it up yourself. But I'm happy to share. And then somebody asked if Cheyenne was my daughter or my roommate. Cheyenne is my daughter. I'm assuming that's a new person who asked me that. Cheyenne's my daughter. She's 28. I guess technically she was my roommate for many years. That question reminded me of I remember going on a date with someone and they dropped me off at home and they asked me if I had any roommates. And like she was like maybe 8 at the time and I was like, yeah, I have an 8-year-old roommate. He couldn't have left fast enough. Anyway, yeah, so she doesn't live with me anymore. She lives in the Bronx with her boyfriend. Her former room is now becoming the nursery, and she's been helping me get the nursery together. So right now, all of the boxes that are in there, which don't get me started, some of it are boxes I have to go through and throw away stuff. And go through is like hoarder language for let me check it just in case I need it. Because some of those boxes I haven't looked at since before 2014. They were in my spare room when I lived in Brooklyn. I moved to Harlem in 2014, so it's been a minute since I've looked in those boxes, but I somehow have the urge to look in them before I throw everything out. And then anyway, everything is in the middle of the floor. The clothes for the baby, I put them in a plastic container, like one that slides under the bed, because I gotta wash them. But then I was like, yeah, I gotta wash them. Crib is getting delivered Monday and put together. So I wanted to get the room painted before the crib gets put together. We're not doing the mural today. We're just gonna paint all the walls. I need to see what it looks like with the crib up before I put the mural on there. Because I think now I'm going to put the crib on the shorter wall, but still put the mural on the longer wall. Originally, I was going to have the mural up and then have the crib underneath it. But I think on the side that the crib goes, I'm going to do from the same artist, which her name is, let me tell you, it's like Nikki something. Oh my God, I had it open earlier. What is this woman's name? Because the mural I got is called Bears and Bees. Let me just see what this woman's name is really fast, if I can find it. Kiki Bell. I don't know where I got Nikki from, child. Kiki Bell. So on one side, it has the mama bear and the baby bear. And then there's another one she has that has the mama elephant and the baby elephant that I want in a circle behind the crib, but not on the whole wall. And then we're going to tie the colors in there. Cheyenne was helping me. I did a Pinterest board. And so she was helping me like organize all that fun stuff. Shipments are coming. Package with UPS failed attempt. I got an ottoman that's shaped like an elephant and it's a storage ottoman. And for whatever reason, UPS is having a hard time delivering it. I keep getting notices it's saying the business is closed, but I'm like, I don't live in a business. It's a condo and nobody has called my number. I'm trying to find a picture for you guys really fast so I can show you. Although it's kind of fuzzy. But can you guys let me turn this off? I always do that. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of light in here because I got this. The curtains are open on that side too. Anyway, so all of this is the stuff that's in the room. It's in the center. It's covered in wrap. Over there, leaning up against the built-ins, those are the carpet and the carpet. What do you call it? It's not a liner. Oh my God, padding. The padding for the carpet in there. So that's coming together. Yes. Oh my God, Isaiah 61. Yes, you made it. Hey, Latundra. Hello. Moni D. Countdown has begun for your baby's arrival. Beaming with anticipation, I'm sure. Are you nesting yet? I am not fully nesting. I'm just struggling. I'm just going to be honest because I see, at least according to these YouTube streets, how they nest and they have all this energy. Like I said, Cheyenne has come to help me. I cannot stand for very long. Like if I'm moving at work, I'm okay, but just standing in the same spot gets a little tiresome. So I drag a chair in there. I mean, even cleaning out the fridge, I feel like I'm on my 600-pound life. I can't stand for a long time. For those of you guys who don't know, I got diagnosed with hydromenos. I have a lot of water in my uterus and within my placenta. So it's heavy, and baby is about 5 pounds this week. Or by Wednesday will be 5 pounds. Like, is that right? Yeah, because they're supposed to gain like half a pound a week, and the last time they checked, it was 4.5. Oh, I don't know if I told you guys. I posted it on Instagram. So baby is now head down again. Baby was breech the last time I did a live with the head up, like, hey mom, what's popping? What's good? And now baby is head down again. Just did it on its own. I found out last Wednesday when I went in for my ultrasound. All my ultrasounds are on Wednesday. That baby was head down again. And I didn't have to do another non-stress test. The doctor was like, I only had to do that one because everything looked good. And so but I do have to do weekly ultrasounds now, which is not fun. Just because logistically, like I'm busy, child. I'm busy. But yeah, so today I am 34 weeks. Baby was head down. I feel like I felt it move. The same day that I had the ultrasound, I also had acupuncture because I had talked to Dr. Clara before about baby being breech, but having nothing to do with acupuncture. Because when I posted it on Instagram, people were asking me, did I think that helped? It didn't. It didn't because the baby was already head down by the time I went to acupuncture. But I will be going weekly now until delivery. I am in contact with the doula. I still have to fill out the questionnaire. It's on my list to do today because then she's like keeps pinging me like, I need you to set up an appointment. And I'm like, girl, you are not helping my anxiety. You're on my list. I will get to my list. But yeah. So, but she wants to get the birth plan out of the way, which fair enough. Anyway, that's a long, winding way of saying I'm not technically nesting. Like, as I see it on these videos, people have all this energy and they're zooming. Like, I'm very much forcing myself to do it because I know it has to get done. But like, if you could see my room, you would know I was not nesting. Like, there's piles of stuff everywhere. So, no, not in the traditional sense. I'm not nesting. But I think what I'm going to have to do is have a task rabbit come and clean. I need to get my carpet shampooed in the living room. I need the kitchen just scrubbed head to toe, and I don't have the energy to do it. But I did order one of those. I'm good for ordering something, sis. I ordered one of those mops with the mop bucket with the dual sides, and it like you can wring it out, and then it has the rinse on the other side. I got the Fabuloso one, which is one of the cheaper ones on Amazon. I know there's a bunch of them. There's this one commercial that's like where there's like a big guy jumping up in the air, mop it like it's hot. I did not get that one, but it's similar. So that came this morning. I'm waiting on the cleaning products that are due by 10. So anyway, yeah, all that is happening. Let me go into, because I said I was gonna look up before I pack my hospital bag what my hospital gives to me and what I need to bring, because I showed you guys in the last live all the stuff that I bought from FSA. I'm not taking all that to the hospital, like the postpartum panties that are like heavier period panties, the fabric ones. I'm not taking that to the hospital because if I dirty it, then I'm coming home with dirty panties, which is weird to me. Um, Everybody to each his own. And I'm not taking that to the postpartum facility. They will do your laundry there, but again, I just feel like just use the paper ones while you're there. So those will be for home. Okay, so patient information, and this is for Sloan Hospital. That's where I'm going. It's has so many names. New York Presbyterian Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital. Within that is the Sloan Hospital for Women, and within that is the Mothers Center. So I'll be at the Mother Center. What to bring to the hospital. So this is the list outside of your maternity bag. They're saying bring complete list of all prescription and over-the-counter medications that you are currently taking, which I can just print it out because I have a lot of you guys have it too. The My Chart, My Connection website, the hospital uses that. Like all my doctors, well, 90% of my doctors use that, so I can just print out my current medication list. Obviously, you want to bring your current medications. Reports or forms your doctor may have given you to bring to the hospital. My doctor's given me none thus far. Medical insurance information, including insurance cards, pre-certification, and other documents required by your insurance. So I didn't need a pre-cert. I always have my insurance cards in my purse, so that's kind of moot. Personal ID, such as driver's license, passport, or other appropriate ID. I always have my driver's license in my wallet. So as long as I don't lose my wallet, we're good. But maybe I'll do a printout of it because I'm ordered a little like, what do you call it? I don't even know. It's like, it's plastic, but it's for your forms because you're going to have forms that you're taking to the hospital. And then obviously you're bringing like legal forms back, like the application for the birth certificate and all that stuff. So I have like I don't even know what I want. I'll just call it a folder, but it's a closed folder, if that makes sense. It's not like it'll open up and stuff will slide across. You know, it has like a little closure at the top. And it's plastic. I'll show it when I do my hospital, what I'm taking to the hospital video. So, and then list of telephone numbers of immediate family members to call if necessary. So I got to make that list out because everything is in my iPhone. So maternity bag. We recommend you pack a bag in advance of your due date with necessities and going home clothes for you and your baby. Some helpful things to include are for mom, personal care items such as deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, mouthwash, lotion, soap, and hairbrush. I definitely will not be shampooing or conditioning there. Probably, I'm hoping I'm only there 2 days. I might take a dry shampoo just because sweating might make my hair yucky. I don't know. We'll see. I have like the little travel bottles of dry shampoo. You'll know when I do the video what exactly I chose. It says we will provide sanitary napkins and stretch underpants after birth. And a friend of mine, I was talking to her last week and she was like, they just put it in like these not cubbies, but like little storage things. She was like, just take it all and put it in your bag to go home. So I was like, bet. So yeah, everything that comes into my room, if I don't use it, is going in my luggage to come home. And then it just says nightgown or pajamas, a robe, slippers, a bra and underwear, and nursing bras if you plan to breastfeed. I haven't found any nursing bras that I like, so I'll have to look into that. My bras right now are a size H. I'm hoping it'll go down a little bit right after delivery. I mean, I know I'll be engorged, but I'm hoping I'm normally like an F or a triple D, depending on who the bra manufacturer is, but right now they're like out of control. So I don't want to buy a whole bunch of bras that are H and then knowing that it's going to go down after delivery because my hormones are going to like purge. So, big titty girl dilemma. Please do not bring large amounts of cash, credit cards, or jewelry. Not a problem. So, yeah, I'll probably I never walk around with cash. Like never ever. I think in my wallet right now I have a euro, a $5 euro from my last trip to Italy. That's the cash that I have. But yeah, I don't have a need for cash. Something's in my eyelash. Sorry. The only jewelry I might wear my regular bracelets. Um, Maybe not the Sorry, guys. Maybe not the ones that have silver, maybe just like my meditation bracelets. Those are very calming to me, the noise and the feeling, the sound and the feeling. So for baby's trip home, an undershirt or an outfit, receiving blankets, and a car seat. And our car seat is only required if you're leaving in a car. Obviously, I live in New York. You don't have to leave the hospital in a car. So I have the undershirt, I have the outfit, have a gown, and then I have an outfit that has legs so that car seat straps can go up between the legs. Receiving blankets, I do not have any receiving blankets, so I have to get some. I have like swaddles, but I don't have receiving blankets. Okay. And then visitors, because someone was telling me they only get two visitors, and then they asked like what was I getting. So I will tell you. We understand that you value the support of your loved ones when you are in the hospital. Please review our current visitor policy, which is on a separate page. Um, so it just has like this visiting hours. New York Presbyterian has open visiting hours to provide patients with more support for their loved ones. There are no set visiting times, so it's not like 10 o'clock, everybody has to get out, which I think is fabulous. Patients or a support person, like a doula, selected by the patient when he or she is admitted, may decide who visits and when. Visitors may include, but are not limited to, a spouse, same or opposite sex domestic partner, another family member or friend for emotional support during the course of her stay. Please note, for the well-being of our patients, members of the care team may limit visiting. Our staff will work with visitors and patients, especially those in semi-private rooms, to allow patients time to rest and sleep. Yeah, my friend Tanya was saying she was in a semi-private, and the person next to her, she was a semi-private, and she was by the window, so she was furthest from the bathroom, so she had to keep passing by them to get to the bathroom. She said they had visitors like the whole time, noisy, and the visitors were using the patient's bathroom. Because you come to visit, that room, that bathroom that's in the room is for the patients. And I think it's especially important for somebody who's just given birth, especially vaginal birth, because everything is open down there. They should not be using a shared toilet or mass shared. So visitors, there's a bathroom in the hallways for the visitors, but she said these people were kind of reckless. So be thoughtful of your other, if you're in a shared room, be thoughtful of your roommates. Um, this I thought was interesting, the balloon policy. Latex balloons are prohibited in the hospital for the health and safety of our patients. Balloons and flowers, fresh cut, artificial, and dried, are prohibited in all intensive care units, recovery rooms, operating rooms, nurseries, labor and delivery suites, and oncology and transplant units. So I will not that anybody was sending me balloons or flowers, but I won't be able to because I'll be in the labor and delivery suites. So, which is interesting because when I went online, it said all of the ones in the Mother Center face the Hudson. They're all on the, oh my God, east side. Is that the east side? Wait a minute. I'm mixing it up. No, that's got to be the west side, the Hudson. Right? Because east side would be the Harlem River and the, oh my God, I might be mixing it up. Whatever it is, it's facing the Hudson, but someone told me like she had her daughter there and it was facing the Bronx, but she had her daughter there like 12 years ago before it was the Mother Center. So I'm hoping I'm not facing the Bronx. I'm hoping I'm facing the river, but we will see. So yeah, that is my prep for my hospital bag. And I'm taking my suitcase. I think I said that before. So I have my suitcase laid out there. So I'm not going to overpack it because I'm going to leave room for all the free stuff. But I am taking my Perry bottle because the ones in the hospital, they just have, it looks like a mustard bottle or a ketchup bottle, like at the fair. And the one I got has a little hook. I showed you guys that in the last video. And I think that'll be, oh, and the ice pads. I'm going to take some of the ice pads, in case. And actually, I was thinking the ice pads, and they're like the shape of menstrual pads. You crack them and then they cool off. They're like cooling. So I could actually use those if I have a vaginal or a cesarean because I could put it across my incision. Um, and again, I was talking to my friend Tanya who ended up with the cesarean, and she was like, all the underwear, you want them to come up, which I've been wearing underwear that come up over my belly anyway. I haven't had, well, sometimes I do, depending on what I'm wearing, but for the most part, I haven't had any that hit below the belly button, especially now that I'm getting bigger. Although I've been a stickler for only wearing the thongs, and I'm probably not going to be able to get away with that after delivery. For those first couple of weeks while everything exits. So, I no thank you, Isaiah 61. I have two that my neighbor Tony made for me, and I think that's good enough because I'm already worried about like how am I gonna keep it all intact and not like do I have to wash it by hand and not shred it? But thank you for thinking of me. Hey Shell, what's cracking? Yeah, I'm so glad baby is head down. Good morning, Lena. Hey, Hope and Victory. Um, Opening boxes, it can get so overwhelming. Yes, child. Um, hey Shim, good morning, Grand Rising. Okay, let me see. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Um, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna overpack. I'm saying I'm gonna have them room in my suitcase to bring the other stuff. I have no intention of overpacking. I'm a frequent traveler, so I usually am pretty good about not overpacking, and I usually take my luggage in to fit overhead. Even if I check it, it can fit overhead. Only reason I ever need to check it is if I'm running late. But yeah, I'm not a heavy packer. I have my outfits, I have my two gowns. I did find the gowns after the last live. Um, I have my two gowns, I have my shower slippers, robe, regular slippers. The baby, like I said, has two gowns and caps. For the blue outfit, it's got a cap and a bow in case it's a girl. Um, Although girls can wear caps too, but I know people get freaked out when you put girls in blue, so that's what I'm saying. For the blue one specifically, I got a cap and a bow. Um, People be wilding out about this gender situation. I'm a girl. I wear blue. I don't know why people are projecting that on little girls that they cannot. My children wear blue. Period. Anyway, so that and then what else? I don't think and I got the nursing cups and I'm gonna bring the colostrum refillers. Like it's not like a full storage container. It's like just for colostrum. Not a milk container. Hey Tina. Um Oh yay, you made it live. Hey just L, how are you? Does someone have to pick you up or do you have to take an Uber? I think it's required because I was told that I couldn't go home by train or public transportation. Asked to make sure, just saying. I can go home by public transportation. I can't go home alone. But my sister will be here from California and my doula will be here from California. So I can't go home alone. But I can take public transportation. But I don't know if you live in New York City. I'm not sure. So there's not a situation where everybody in New York City has a car. Um, yeah, and specifically, I'm in Manhattan. I couldn't leave the hospital without a car seat for the baby. Yeah, it depends on where you are. It depends on where you are. The New York City does not require you to have a car seat because a lot of people don't have cars. So it will be a waste of money, so to speak. Because even when I was in California, not only did you leave with the car seat, they gave you a car seat. When Shine was born, the hospital provided a car seat as part of our exit. So I again did not have to buy one to leave the hospital, but it definitely depends on where you are. Um, New to channel, so excited. Thank you, T. Elaine, you made it. Yeah, I tried to do a morning one so y'all could come through. But yeah, so it just depends. And somebody else was telling me, like, not a hospital here in Manhattan, but a hospital in Brooklyn required that you have a car seat. It just depends on the hospital. That's why it's important that you go on their website, print out their information, and read it so that you understand. Um, what's going on, because somebody else was also like telling me, oh no, you have to have your pediatrician come to the hospital, and that's not true here. My pediatrician is Tribeca Pediatrics, and they don't go to any hospital. I already talked to my doctor about it. She was, as soon as I said it, she was telling me, oh, yeah, they don't come to the hospital. We'll have one of the on call pediatricians check you out. So it just depends. Be careful of people giving you advice that it's like it always has to be that way or it only can be that way. It's very rarely in life are things that absolute. So ask questions specific to your situation. Um, yeah, so they gave you a car seat. Yeah, in California, say I delivered her at St. Agnes. This was in 1994. They gave me a car seat. They weren't like you can't, you have to come with a car seat. Um, so and I don't know because I just like for those of you guys who've been tracking the lives, I just ordered the Nuna because love, well, not because love, but love helped facilitate that by sending me $1,000 on Cash App. So I ordered the Nuna travel system, so more than likely, I will leave in a car with the travel system. And this is a travel system that has a baseless car seat, which was important to me because, baby, I will not be carrying around. This travel system is only 20 pounds, which I thought was ideal. A lot of the other ones are like 30 or whatever, or people are like, oh, it's only 27, but then you get 27 with the baby and you're carrying it all the time, right? Like if you live in a place where you have your own car, it doesn't really necessarily matter the weight of your travel system because you're putting it in your car. Or if I'm physically carrying it, I could be up and down on subway stairs. Do I want to carry 20 pounds or do I want to carry 28? Like every ounce matters when I have to drag it around, especially if I have to have a C-section. So yeah. Africa full of love. Good morning from Cali. Northern, southern, northern, southern, or central. That's what I was trying to get to. I was born and raised in central, in Fresno, and then I moved to LA and lived there for about 14 years. And now most of my family lives up north in Sacramento. Isaiah 61. Yeah, everybody's situation is different. I am getting the hang of things now because I've noticed there's like a lot of mom shaming and pregnant lady shaming on Instagram and these other socials. So I'm just gonna like rebuke you, Satan. Like if someone is like, you have to do it this way, or I had to do it this way, good for you. That has nothing to do with me. I'm not gonna take that on. And some of it I think people mean well, but you know, mind your own, you live long where I come from. Oh, you're in Sacramento. Okay. Oh man, I was just there. So two of my sisters live in Sacramento. The other two live in Arizona. My mom is in Sacramento. My cousins, there's still a large majority of my family that lives in Fresno. And then the rest are kind of spread out. Like I've got a niece in Maryland, um, a cousin in DC. But for the most part, like I would say the majority, well, of my maternal family, I don't really know my paternal family. They're mostly in Madera. But yeah, are in Fresno and in Sacramento. So are you going to have an on? I am not going to have an online baby shower. I had my baby shower in Fresno with my relatives. I posted on both Instagram, Facebook. I posted the whole album on Facebook and I posted some of the video, or not the videos. I posted some of the photos here on YouTube on the community tab. Let me make sure this is not the painters trying to get in. Time sensitive. Your package is here. Get all the details on USPS. Okay, we'll see what that is. My main thing is I'm trying to get my elephant that they keep misdelivering. So let me see if I can show you guys what it looks like. Yeah, that is the ottoman for my feet. And of course, because I live in New York, it's got storage in it. Everything has to have storage. So the lid pops off, but that's for when I'm rocking Sugar Bear. Yeah. Yeah, no online baby shower for me, Lady Mel. I owe a lot of thank you cards for people who did purchase from my registry, my Amazon registry. I'm having another baby shower at work. My boss asked, and I was like, because they all know I'm a private person, so I'm glad she asked. I was like, I'll give you the list of who I want, and I'll give you my registry information, just because it ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody. But I'm not a fan of the online baby showers because my sister suggested that too. Like, she wanted me sitting in my living room in Manhattan while my family was there, and I was so glad we did not do that because I just felt like I was showered with so much love. And people were like, "How are you going to get the gifts back?" And I'm like, "I'm not. I'm on Amazon. The gifts are going to be shipped to my house." So most of the gifts came before I even got on the plane, but I just enjoyed being with my family and like getting the love and the hugs and talking, and it was a beautiful day. It was a lot of sunshine. We were outside in my cousin's house in her backyard. Um we had a taco truck on site. It was all the things I love about home. So and then people were like, "Are you going to do a Zoom?" I know, because I wanted to be in the moment. Like, who's gonna man the camera? There's like 40 people there. Are we going from table to table? It just was gonna be more work for me, so I did not do that. Um, and I don't even know. I mean, I guess if I was really focused on it, but like, how are you doing the games with the people online? Like, are you just watching it? You know what I mean? And like, I try when I do make videos, try to make it interesting. So that was all I could think of, was like, how could I make like a Zoom baby shower interesting for people? And not too cumbersome for myself, because that means somebody from the party is gonna have to man the cameras, and kind of curate the content live, which that is not my family's bag. So that would have been up to me. Um, Most of my maternal family is here as well, born and raised. Okay, yes. Um, Woo, live, yes. Hey, Sarah. Do you have a birthing plan? I don't, Simone. So you missed that at the top. My doula has been nagging me. I need to schedule an appointment to do my birthing plan with her. I was supposed to do it last week. She's on my list. There's a questionnaire I have. I can tell you off the top of my head, I do not want to labor on my back. I did not like that with my first. Um, yeah, I don't want to labor on my back. For the baby, I don't want anyone trying to give it a bath within the first 24 hours. Let the baby be. And then I don't want an episiotomy, but my doctor says they don't do episiotomies at that hospital anyway. There's like lots of new research from when I had Cheyenne, where they don't recommend that. It's usually less intense. Tearing is less intense than what the episiotomy does. And so yeah. Those are kind of the things I know I don't want. I'm not opposed to like medication. I would like to try to do it without medication. I had Cheyenne without medication, but I will say the nurse who's going to be doing my what do you call it? Birthing class was like, your body is not going to remember none of that from 28. It'll be 29 years by the time I deliver. It's going to be like your first time. So don't. So I'm not going to be in a situation where I'm like, hell no, I can't have medication. I would like to not do an epidural if possible, but if it comes to that, as hard as I work for this baby, um, you know, oh my God, what is it? It's technically now, it was 6 years ago because next month it'll be 6 years ago. I started in May of 2017. Started with IUIs. I think I lost count after 7 IUIs. I had 2 egg retrievals. I had 6 transfers, one fresh, 5 frozen, 3 miscarriages. So after all that, do you think that I'm gonna come down and be like, no, the only way the baby can come out, whatever gets baby here earthside safe and keeps mom alive, I'm down with it. So whatever that looks like, um, that's what happens. Hey Rose, how are you? Good morning. So yeah, and then I took a picture in the elevator. I'll show you guys. I can finally look down and see my bump because before I couldn't see past my boobs. So I took it in the elevator. Hopefully you guys, I did it again. It's reflecting back. Oh my God. But yeah, you can't see that. I'll post it on Instagram. Simply.Tanika. Because for a long time I could only see my chest and I couldn't see the belly. But either way, I haven't been able to see my feet for a long time because of my profile looking down, and that makes it difficult to get up and down the stair. Oh my God, I was leaving on Thursday because I didn't go in on Friday. And one of the secretaries or the admin got me a pass for the freight elevator so I can badge in and they'll take me wherever. So I take the freight elevator from the 12th floor where I am all the way down to the concourse where the subway is. Which, I mean, I could take the regular elevator down to the first floor and then take that freight elevator down to the concourse. But why if I can get an express? But the EVP was there like as I was coming out of the bathroom, but I was too late. Like they closed that elevator like 10 to 6. Um and so like 5:50 and I think it was like 5:52. So by the time she saw me go in there and she's like, "Oh, where are you going?" And I was like, "Oh, I have a pass with a freight elevator." Then I was locked out. Then I had to have this whole conversation with her about how I couldn't get down. She was like, "Well, you can go over to the escalator." And I was like, "Girl, I'm not gonna do all that. Like that's extra walking. I'm gonna just." I showed her like a little duck walk. I pull my dress up, lean to the side, and do like this gangster walk, this alligator, so I can see my feet to get down the stairs. But yeah, shots for babies, vitamin K, Hep B ointment. So ointment for the eyes, I'm down with. Vitamin K, I'm down with because that helps with clotting. Hep B, I think they. I don't know what is it. No, I'm thinking Group B. Um, Strep. We'll do that. I don't know about that. I'm not opposed to vaccines. Let me say that. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, we can't get vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. Um, I was vaccinated from the very beginning. There's lots of studies and support. So yeah. Because I would feel like a damn fool if I did all this to get pregnant and my baby gets polio or some other preventable disease. Like, not gonna play around with that. So, yeah, all that can happen. Hey, Arrow. I just know I don't want them washing the baby. I don't want any sort of bath in the first 24 hours. And I definitely want to nurse because I know that is good for the immune system. I breastfed Cheyenne for over 12 months and over a year. Her immune system is stellar. She had all those vaccines. She's fine. I had all the vaccines. I'm fine. So, yeah, I'm not with like the sovereign citizen and anti government movement. That's not my jam. I work in corporate America. I'm very much a into capitalism. Let me say it like that. Yes. I'm almost done. I am 34 weeks, so I have 6 weeks to go. 6 weeks to go. I got another ultrasound next week and the one after, and then we'll make an assessment if they keep going. So I still had the excess water this last week, but like I said, baby was head down. So that was good. I will say, knowing that I have this makes more sense now because it had to develop while I was in California. Because I had my last ultrasound literally the day before I got on the plane, and baby was head down, and my amniotic fluid was fine. And then when I was there, I started having a lot of pain, like up underneath my boobs and numbness. So it would go from pain to numbness. And I thought it was, whoa, I thought it was my scars because that had been bothering me. Like I could feel as the pregnancy progressed where my uterus was based on how it hit my laparoscopic scars on my left side because there's scar tissue there, right? There's where it healed. And so as the uterus moved up, that part was stretching as my belly expanded. And so when I was in so we drove Friday from from Sacramento to Fresno, right? I flew into Northern California, but we drove and we stopped at like Costco. I don't know. My sister thought I was going to have the energy to do all these runs and whatnot. After Costco, I was like, I got to go lay down. So it was the numbness and then it was like the pulling. And I read in one of the books that your rib cage also is stretching, like not stretching, but it's expanding so that your uterus can have room. So that expanding was exacerbated because of the fluid, the excess fluid, the amniotic fluid. So that at least made sense in my head. I was like, oh yay. Reasons. I'm a fan of reasons. I also went to the nephrologist this week. It was my last visit for the nephrologist for before birth. I just go back to my regular annual nephrologist visits now. And he did a bunch of 6 vials of blood and a urine test, and like my uric acid came up high and my cholesterol came up high. So I sent that to the MFM, and she was like, the cholesterol is the in the placenta, like, don't worry about it, you're fine. And then I also had questions because I don't know about you guys, but I read all of my scan reports. And so this time it said like my placenta, if it was posterior before there, it was saying it's anterior now, right? So I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So I sent her a note, and then she went back to clarify, and she's like, it's actually both because your placenta is at fundal height, which is the top of the uterus. So she was like, a little bit is in the back, a little bit is in the front. And then it also, this time it had a grade 1 where before it had a grade 2. And like from everything I read, it said like the grades go up as the placenta gets older, and she was like, those are completely subjective. She was like, don't pay attention to that. So it was good. I love that I can just message her within the My Chart app and she gets right back to me because I have questions. Yeah. So hey Heather Page, what's cracking? What's popping? What's good? I've heard that when the baby is born, if they wait a few minutes before they cut the cord, it improves the baby's iron levels. Have you heard about that? I have. I am gonna do delayed cord cutting, and I'm gonna do banking, blood banking. Matter of fact, I need to call California Cryobank Monday and get that sorted out. But yeah, I'm gonna do delayed cord cutting. There's no need to rush that. There's actually a lot of benefits from delayed cord cutting. Um, Digital aunties, yes. I will not be saving the placenta though. I know some people ask me that, like, are you gonna save it and eat your placenta? I'm good, sis. I'm good. It doesn't even sound appetizing or interesting to me. Um, Whatever y'all do with them things, that biohazard, you go on right ahead and do that. Hey Sharif, how are you? Good morning. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for my updates. Unless you guys have any questions, or any additional questions, I should say. But once I get my birth plan locked, I'll come on here and share what it is. Not for shaming purposes. If you have a different birth plan, God bless you. If you don't believe in vaccines, God bless you. We all have to do what's right for us and for our family and for our situation. We're all not the same. Thank God, because what a boring place the world would be if we all did exactly the same thing, thought all the exact same way. Um, so yeah, just because I choose a different way, you don't have to judge me. Because you choose a different way, I'm not going to judge you. There's not a right or a wrong in absolution. There's a right for you, a right for me. And sometimes what's right for you in that moment may not be right for you years later. So, shit changes. um, Abra, I like the delayed cutting the cord. Yeah, me too. Hey there, Lady Leo. What's cracking? Grand Rising. How is it out in California? What is it? 11, 10, 9, 8 o'clock in the morning. Um, Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important, Simone, because like I said, I've been seeing a lot of mom shaming or over explaining, or even like I asked somebody a question and they went to explaining like 3 times and I was done with the first, and then I felt bad, like, oh my God, I did not need all this information. I was asking you about one thing. You said you didn't do that one thing. I was done with the conversation. Like, you don't owe me an explanation about how you do what you do with your child. So, oh, thank you. Hey, RC, how are you? I just watched your video this morning. Your update was, I think it was through 36 weeks, because I think you said you delivered at 37, but yeah. Um, in fact, after I watched it, I started my list on Amazon for my maternity shoot. I started a maternity shoot list, and I started a what do you call it? Infant photo list. I was looking for bear stuff for the baby. Yeah. I'm just starting my donor egg journey after a failed transfer. Any tips? I know that I would skip stems, but not sure how to prepare for the best chance. Oh, Heather, that's such a broad question. And each of us is so different. Obviously, your health, taking care of yourself, so like exercise, your mental well-being, whatever, if you need to talk to a therapist, if you need a little medication. I'm not ashamed to say I take Zoloft. I up my Zoloft during pregnancy. I definitely need to have my mental like on point. Yoga, meditation, acupuncture, whatever makes you feel your best. Um, yeah. And patience, because I think sometimes people make it seem, or some people, let me not talk in absolutes, like donor egg is a slam dunk. I feel like a lot of people came at me with that noise. Like, oh, of course you'll get pregnant immediately with the donor egg and blah, which also makes you feel bad because it's like, oh, my body must be defective. That's why everybody is so sure that I'll get pregnant with the donor egg. But it's not always like 5 transfers later, I'm pregnant. So those first 4 with the donor eggs did not work. So I would say just pace yourself. That's why like the mental health part of it is important. And pray a lot. Figure out what your protocol is. Like, have they done an ERA for you? Make sure you're transferring at the right time. Have you had any immunology workups? Do you feel like you might need that? Because that ended up being the ticket for me after 4 failed DE transfers, was going to the immunologist. Because and I had one, so I had, this is my 6th transfer. This baby is the first transfer was with my own egg, which that again they assumed, well, it's your egg, that's why it didn't work. And there's 2 parts of being pregnant. It's one is the receptiveness of your body, your uterus, all of your reproductive organs. The other is the embryo itself, the quality of the embryo. So you just want to make sure you checked all your boxes as far as your own receptivity. I remember saying that to I'm gonna say a young lady because I'm the oldest one in the TTC group that I run in. Um, and she kept saying, "Oh yeah, the doctor said my uterus was clean." And I was just like, I felt bad because I was like, what a horrible doctor to communicate in that way. Because the opposite of clean is dirty. And that's not what the test is, right? Is receptivity or lack of receptivity is not equivalent to a dirty uterus. And like, what does that even mean that your uterus is not dirty? So also make sure you have doctors that communicate clearly to you, are supportive and suggestive, and not like demeaning, demanding, or belittling, because that also makes a difference on your mental. Um, yes. Amen to being special in our own way. Thanks for everything you share. Oh, yay. Single mom by choice trying. Good luck with you, Lady D. Yeah, we are all unique. You're welcome, Mercy. Thank you, Therese. Teresa, oh my God, I feel exhausted. I'm like leaning back so I can breathe. My favorite thing now is this lean back. Or if I'm at work, I have to lift my arms up so I can get space. You guys can't really see. Let me see. Like space between here and here to separate this out, because this is where the pain points are, like right in this spot. And obviously, if I'm over here, everything is scrunched together. So I try to stretch it out to get as much room as possible there, because the baby is babying. Yes. And wish I had an immunologist. Oh my God. They don't have any there? That's interesting. There's also some reproductive endocrinologists will do some of the immunologist work. It's just a little more in depth. Or like even with Braverman, they're an immunology group, but they also do transfers. I was already in love with Dr. McConnell, so I wasn't gonna switch everything up. And I'm a little like hesitant to just be transferring embryos willy-nilly, just because there's a risk with that, right, that you could lose that. I transferred with my own eggs at 47. I did my transfer 47. It was 2018. So, right? Oh my God. Yeah, because I had my first miscarriage right before my 46th birthday. And then so in 20, oh my God. That was in 2017. In 2018, I'd have been 47. I was doing IUIs, and at the end of that, the end of 2018, I transferred Applejack. So I was 47. Yeah, the recommendation is not past 45, and like even my IVF unicorn, my doctor, Dr. Halem, was like, remember, because she obviously was like 48, 49, 50 when she had the kids, but she was like, remember, I had 45-year-old embryo. So I would just recommend, if you're on the fence, if you're saving money, if you're not sure, by 45, get those eggs out if you can. Um, and do banking, egg banking. Like if you watch K Fertility, she did egg banking with testing, and that's how she got to her one. I think she did like 13 IVF retrievals. So you, and at that point you have to make a decision, because obviously there's a financial commitment. Like last year, I just made the decision that I was gonna go for broke. Like literally go for broke. And so my credit score, very low. My belly, very full, because I can build my credit back up, and luckily I have enough where I can live off of cash anyway. While I pay that down, I don't. There's no reason that I need the credit right now. I'm not making any large purchases. But you have to make that decision, and there were people. Oh God, hold on. That I've talked to over the years and explained that to them, and they're like, I can't afford it. I'm gonna wait 5 years, and it's like, by hook or by crook, it's better if you figure out the money now, because in 5 years, your biological situation is going to be drastically different. Even if you have all that money, your chances are diminished. So it's more likely that you're going to waste that money. Not that it can't happen. It just is like, if you look at from a risk assessment standpoint, your chances are lower. Um, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, 47. And then I did another egg retrieval at 48, and that egg did not make it to blastocyst. So, and that was 2019, so that was right before the pandemic. Then I went to California to be with my mom, and that's when I was like, the clinic wasn't even open while I was there, so I was kind of like, I have a little bit of a break, but obviously I'm still aging. I don't have a break from getting older. So it was that is when I initially thought, well, I'll do one more transfer, or I'll do one more retrieval with my own eggs, and I'll do a tandem where the egg donor is also doing a retrieval. Um and then I just ended up, by the time I got back, I got this place, and I was like, that doesn't make sense, like from a money perspective. So I ended up getting just a donor and doing donor eggs at the end of 2020 is when we signed all the paperwork. Her transfer wasn't until February 10th of 2021. Um, and then hijinks ensued from there. So yeah, it can be a journey. It can be a journey, and it's not always a slam dunk. Like I said, just because you have donor eggs, people make it like, oh, that's, you're gonna be pregnant right away. So here we are 2 years later, and I'm pregnant. But yeah, February 2021 is when we got the eggs. We collective me, um, and the embryos, and then by 2023, I'm finally pregnant and almost delivering with my double donor embryo. So it takes a minute. Um, yes. I was considering if I should try one or more round at 44, but the financial implications are concerning as a self-pay patient. I can't afford another cycle with only one embryo. Yeah, Heather, it's a hard decision. You have to you have to decide. And there are self-pay people, like I know people who have maxed out their 401k or who have taken out loans for it, um, because they definitely wanted their own genetic child, or a chance at their own. And so they did multiple rounds of mini IVF where they got one embryo each time, one egg, and then that turned into an embryo each time. And they tested them all. Specifically, I'm thinking of K Fertility, because she had a success at the end. So definitely check out her videos, going through. She did 13 rounds of retrievals. So yeah. But also, I think there becomes a point, she's married, and so maybe it was important to her, I don't want to put words in her mouth, to have her own biological, or at least to exhaust that first. In the beginning, I was very much opposed to like an egg donor, mainly because I did not want to be exploiting anybody, and I saw like a lot of videos of like these women get this money, but they don't necessarily understand the implications. Um yeah. Yeah, so it just depends. some of them end up with like cancer. There's no healthcare follow-up for them. Like there's no mandated progression for these women, and so that gets a little difficult. Like if you're a surrogate, there's more tracking for you than if you are and I mean a gestational surrogate, like not sure using your own eggs. So I might be mixing those up. But a surrogate where you're carrying someone else's embryo, not because the old school surrogates, the woman was also the biological mother of the child that she was carrying. The newer ones are gestational carriers, and they are not biologically related to that child, meaning somebody else provided an egg, somebody else provided sperm, created an embryo, and then put that in the surrogate. There's a lot of them on YouTube. I watched them. But yeah, so I forgot, my pregnancy brain just kicked in what we were rambling on about. Anyway, it's so important to have a supportive doctor. That's why I canceled my lap appointment. And a supportive doctor is important, and a doctor you can talk to. Like my doctor doesn't get annoyed, Dr. Lasala, because I have a lot of questions. She knows, and she answers them patiently. I think the messaging helps. That was the one thing I didn't like about Braverman. I never got to talk to Dr. Thornton. I had to make an appointment. I had to specifically request that the appointment be video. Like I always got stuck with this secretary who was in witness protection. Like it was just the most unprofessional situation I ever had. Um she could call me, but I couldn't call her. If she called me, it was from a blocked number. So like if I'm in a meeting at work, I can't just step out for every blocked number. But if it was like this doctor's office, I could just wave my phone and be like, "Excuse me," and show like, "Oh, it's Dr. blah blah blah," and walk out. You know what I mean? So I was just like, are you in witness protection? Why is your number blocked? And if you're working for this company, and you're working from home, they should give you a separate number that doesn't have to be blocked. Um and her follow-up was horrible. Like I loved Dr. Thornton when I did get to talk to him, so it was worth it. But would I do that again? I don't know. There's another immunologist that my acupuncturist, a lot of her patients I've worked with, that I might go to next time. It's not like I have to transfer any embryos, and I kind of know my protocol. So also, like, Braverman has something against insurance. Like, every time I talked to somebody, they were always going on and on about how bad insurance companies were, which I also just thought was unprofessional. Like, that's your specific experience with the insurance companies. Maybe it's you. I haven't had that experience with my insurance company. Like, so for you to badmouth them off the jump, maybe it's you. Were you successful with the same egg donor you had previously tried donor eggs with? I didn't previously try egg an egg donor. I had one donor. So I'm not sure what you mean. I had one egg donor. We did our she did her, like I said, 2021 in February is when we had the egg retrieval, and from that I ended up with 10 embryos that were keepers, if you want to say, and then I've used up 5 of them. Number 5 is in my belly now. I didn't have any I didn't go through multiple egg donors. Um yeah. And I didn't want to do that, which is why I did single source. So like I didn't have to share the eggs with anyone else. I didn't go to an egg bank. Like all the eggs were my eggs. They belonged to me. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that makes sense. There's a place in Barbados that offers fertility services at much lower cost. Maybe you could check them out. Oh, yeah, there you go. I have not connected with anyone who's had success at that Barbados clinic. At least 6 women have reached out to me about that. One of them, there's a video on here. Oh my God, she just got married. I can't think of her name. But she went to Barbados and she did not end up pregnant. She still has embryos there too. The only thing, like, well, I guess if you have no insurance, like that is a draw. But there was like a lot of, you have to go down here at this certain time. You also have to have monitoring in the US, which you have to pay for, right? That's not covered at the lower cost. But I guess I can't speak on it because I haven't looked at the overall package, like if it makes more sense. Because even with my insurance, there was a certain point where I maxed out on stuff. So some of the stuff was covered, like my meds were always covered, but not all of my procedures were always covered. So I only had 2 transfers covered by my insurance. After that, I paid out of pocket for the transfer, the transfer itself, which ended up, in the beginning it was like $2,600 per transfer. In the end, it ended up being 28. My last transfer, The 2022 transfer ended up being $2,800, but the ultrasounds were covered, the meds were covered, blood draws, what do they call it? Ventipuncture, that was covered, but the code for transfer itself was no longer covered. So yeah, it's just you gotta weigh it all out. And also figure out, can you beg, borrow, or steal? Can you max out your credit cards? Can you take money out of your 401k? Do you have a sugar daddy? Like, what is your situation? Um, I've been to the bar. Okay, Mimi. So, what was your experience at the Barbados clinic? Like, would you recommend it to others? Were you successful? Did you have a good experience? And I've had some. There's one person, maybe two, who was weighing between C and Y in Barbados and ended up with Barbados because she felt like the customer service was better, but then something else happened at the end. You got to go with your gut. So even if people like when people ask for recommendations, if we have different sensibilities, it doesn't make sense for the recommendation, right? Like I have very different specific sensibilities, so I knew CNY was never going to work for me, right? And so there were outside of the money, just like I saw the videos, I talked to people about their experience, it was not for me. I found the one doctor that everybody loved to be very misogynistic in his online persona, and it just wasn't going to work for me. Like there was no way I was going to feel comfortable there. So it's also about sensibilities. It's got to go like beyond the medicine, because if you're going to be miserable the whole time or questioning it, it's not going to work. So yes, I am exercising. I've been exercising the whole pregnancy. I do a lot of yoga, and I have to per doctor's order walk at least 20 minutes a day. But yes, the rule for my doctor, and if you look at a bunch of the pregnancy books, like I have this one handy over here on the bed, whoa, that my doctor gave me, is the same level of exercising you were doing before pregnancy you can do during pregnancy, unless there's some other complication that has arisen. But yes, I'm definitely exercising. There's a family on YouTube that has had success in Barbados. Awesome. I mean, yeah, there's always someone has had success, otherwise they wouldn't be in business. So I didn't mean to imply that they didn't have success. I'm specifically speaking of the people that I've been in contact with. Um, but I'm sure if nobody ever had success, they would not still be in business, right? Um, One, if you can name the clinic. I was successful and unfortunately had oh no, my OBGYN in the US was very helpful with writing my orders for labs and scans. So there you go. Yeah, all of the people that like the six people that I don't want to make it sound like I talked to 10 million people. The six people that I talked to about Barbados definitely had to have monitoring here. They had to take extended time off to go to Barbados, like once they were there. The thing for me was not missing work for the procedures. I would take time off after I had the transfers, but not to miss work to go. Um, yeah, yeah. And just given the fact that I felt like they didn't have the right answers and I was going to have multiple treatments, that was another thing that took like CNY and Barbados off the table for me. Because even though I live in New York, I live in the city, I don't live upstate. And so getting up, down there, and back was like, it was a no. It was a no for me. Um, but again, we're all different. That's why there's like different levels of treatment, different like you have to find what works for you. Um and not necessarily for the next person, which is again important, super important when you're asking people for recommendations. Like there's somebody blowing up my comments, which I'm not on my comments every day. They're like, "What do you recommend? Who do you recommend for blah blah blah?" And I'm like, I don't necessarily say I'll recommend, but I would say I would hands down any day, anytime, go back to Dr. McConnell at Columbia. Is that a recommendation that makes sense for you? I don't know because I don't know you. I don't know what you like, what you prefer. I just know like when I get off the elevator in the penthouse, I know I'm in good hands at Columbia. Um, Never had a problem there. So even share like there. clinic was not on par with Columbia's clinic, but I went there because the one doctor who wasn't even like their he was new, he wasn't like their regular doctor, had a reputation for advanced maternal age own eggs. So that's why I went there. But like, was the clinic up to standards as far as like my expectations? No. No. Um RMA had a nicer clinic, but they also were a factory. So I don't know. All of that kind of matters to me, but it may not matter to someone else. But also, you have to keep in mind, like, I don't get on a plane and fly coach. You know what I mean? I don't. I fly first class. Not to be like, oh, I have all this money. That's just what my expectation is. Can I recommend it to everybody? No, because I don't know if you'll like it. You might be fine sitting in coach. I am not, and part of it is like my anxiety is really bad. So, and then I see it gets worse with all these crazy ass fights going on. In coach. I don't know what's going on back there. Is it the food they're giving, the lack of food? So it just really is a matter of like personal taste. What kind of hotel you're staying in, like all those recommendations are a matter of personal taste, beyond the clinical experience of what's happening. But I do believe you need to have a good connection with your doctor. So it's like for me, like what are the aesthetics and the professionalism of the environment, and what is the relationship like with the doctor? Um, I did not like my relationship with my doctor at RMA. Like I thought she was very condescending and like worried about like where I went to college and stuff like that. Like what is that got to do with my uterus, sis? Um yeah, I don't know. It was Dr. McConnell easier to get along with because she was black? I can't say because I've not met her as a white woman, but there were certain things where I felt like we saw each other, we got each other, and that was good. And same thing with Dr. Thornton being a black man, like that was just easier. Although Dr. O was not, he was like European, and I loved him to pieces. He didn't talk down to me. He wasn't a misogynist. Just those sorts of things. He didn't I'm not gonna go there because I don't want to. I was gonna say something about it. I'm not gonna go there. If that doctor worked for those people, I just knew that for those reasons, certain doctors were not gonna work for me. But I also think like we have to get our mind right when we're going into it and read up and be realistic on what our expectations are. There's no IVF that's 100%. So even for me to sit here and say like, oh, I know people who didn't do well at Barbados. Well, everybody's not going to do well because there's no IVF at 100%. That doesn't mean it's a bad clinic. That doesn't mean people haven't had success. Some people have had. I just haven't run across them. But I'm not meaning to imply that there's no success there. Nor am I meaning to imply that Dr. Thornton has success with all of his patients because he can't. Like, it's the law of odds. Is that right? Is there a law of odds? That's not right. The law of something. Now I'm getting worried. Where's this damn painter? It is. I'm gonna send him a text like, "Hey, are you on your way?" Cause where you at, bruh? Oh my god. He asked me to confirm my address. Oh, here he is. How are things going? Because he was supposed to be here right after 10, and it is 11:30. And I wanted to go to the post office, but I gotta let him in, and I gotta go walk the dogs. Anyway, um, I am sorry, Mimi, for your early miscarriage. I know those are a pain in the butt and not easy. I had 3 of them. I can't say one is that it got better in time or any of that bullshit cliche stuff. Each one sucks because you have plans for each one of your children. Um, I'm wishing you success in the future, whether that be at Barbados or wherever you go. I'm praying for your take home baby. Um, The other thing too, like I want to say, because sometimes like people are on the internet who ask questions, they always want to know how much did it cost. It depends, right? It depends on what your circumstances are. Me quoting you how much it costs is not going to be what it costs you because, like I said, my insurance, the first 2 transfers covered it fully, and then after that, they covered everything except for what was coded as transfer. My now my medical insurance is separate from my pharmacy insurance, my medication insurance. So my cost was either $10 or $50 per medication. It was $50 for like the goneril, whatever that pin was, a 900 pin. But that's not going to be the same for you. So I do get like kind of annoyed when I watch other people and they're like discouraging people like, "Oh, your medication is going to cost $1 million." Well, how do you know if you don't know what their insurance covers? Um it's specific to each person. And even when you find like some who are not that are not covered by insurance, like Omnitrope, you might find a pharmacy that has a discount or that will give you some sort of deal or that will find a coupon for you. So I try not to discourage people of like that's not going to work for you. Where there's a will, there's a way. Um seek and ye shall find. But it's a different situation. So I've never done a video on how much my IVF costs because that's not useful information to share to anyone. Like you'd have to be going to my exact same clinic, be in my exact same situation, like where you are transfer wise, and have my exact same employer because the insurance is employer specific, right? I see that a lot on the boards. People are like, "Oh, you have Blue Cross." Well, like my Blue Cross is Independence Blue Cross. It's not um oh my god, what are the other ones? It's not Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's specifically out of Pennsylvania because our parent company is Comcast, which is out of Philadelphia. So that's where the insurance is coming from. But it's also what Comcast negotiated with Blue Cross, with Independence Blue Cross. So like, I don't know, Bum Bum Cream, because I can see that right there. If you're an employee of Bum Bum Cream, they might have negotiated something different with Blue Cross, and it's based on what your employer does. So it's not like, oh, this insurance company covers this. Now, maybe if you're on, what's the right word? I want to call it Obamacare, but that's not the right word. ACA, the American, is it American? Whatever it is, the universal insurance that we have in America. If you're, it might be the same across those like platforms if you have that level of insurance. I'm not sure, but it's not necessarily the same. Just because we both have Independence Blue Cross does not mean we have the same coverage through because it's negotiated through your employer, which a lot of people started figuring out come COVID. Because then when you lose your job, you have nothing, and then you're trying to get on this other insurance, and you're like, just say you go through these what they call the open markets, you also get Independence Blue Cross. It doesn't mean you're getting the same coverage that I get, right? And I know somebody else was like, I can't remember, somebody who worked for the government also had the same name brand that I had, but didn't have the coverage that I had. And I'm like, again, I'm into capitalism. Of course not, because I work for a Fortune 500 company. It's not like working for the government where you're funded by taxpayers. Like it would be pretty weird for a government agency to have the same insurance that a free enterprise company has. It just would be because there's stocks and shares and um in a capitalist society, those companies are in the business of making money. So part of attracting top talent is having better coverage, right? You're offering benefits, or like not just health benefits, but like financial benefits like 401k, discounted share costs. Like it's just to be competitive, where the government is not in it to make money. They're not in it for the capitalism. Their sole purpose is not to make money. Their purpose is to serve the people. So it's just like there's different things. So be wary when you get on the internet and some people are telling you discouraging things. They're telling you based on their limited knowledge of the world. Girl, it's things out here you ain't never even dreamed of that can happen for you. So just keep your mind open if you can. Um Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. It's funny you say that. Somebody was trying to get me to sell them meds across the country. First of all, I won't sell meds. Like I've given meds away or I've told people you can have them, but you have to pay for the postage. But then I was like, does this person really think I'm going to risk my job and my livelihood for illegally selling drugs and across state lines? Like that's federal time. Have you lost your ever loving mind? No. I wouldn't sell any of them because it's all illegal. Have I bought some illegally? I 1000% have, and then I had to have a come to Jesus moment when I'm in my bathroom inserting progesterone tablets that I bought off the internet from a stranger that didn't even come in a prescription bottle, but in a Ziploc bag. I had to have a come to Jesus moment of like, if you don't get your life together, um, But that was when I was at RMA. I was still new to the whole game. I was scared to ask the doctor for the progesterone. She hadn't recommended it. That was right after my miscarriage. So yeah, I was like in a little chat room and there was this girl with a story and she couldn't afford to go through it anymore and her dad was sick and she just needed to sell her meds and this would help her out greatly. And I was like, oh girl, here's my credit card information. And the stuff came. If I had a Ziploc on this bed, I would show you. I bullshit you not. It was like some yellow progesterone tablets in a zippy baggie. No prescription, no dosage. Like, am I really about to insert this in my vagina? You know, like we do strange things with misinformation and desperation. But yeah, sometimes you can get them, I mean, legally out of the country. And I know even I was watching, I can't remember, but there's some website that sells HCG, which you would use as a trigger shot, but they sell it for weight loss and you don't need a prescription. I think it's HCG, don't quote me. Um, I'm pretty sure it's like an HCG diet if you needed that trigger shot. And there's other places. So sometimes you just have to be resourceful. There's also coupons. Again, there's a lot of women who will donate the medication to you and just charge you for postage, like on resolve.org. There's a lot of rooms or chat rooms where they have that on there. Just be careful of the people with the sad story and who want a lot of money because it is not legal to sell the drugs on the internet. Um, and me, I'm always like, am I going to get caught up in this thing? Like, I'm not trying to have no federal drug charges in behind trying to save $10. You know what I'm saying? Um, Simone, I'm taking my full 6 months for my maternity leave. So the plan is my maternity leave starts the day after Memorial Day and I come back the week after Thanksgiving. You know, but what do they say? If you want to make God laugh, make plans. Yes, yes, sis, in a Ziploc bag. And it's just rolling around in a Ziploc bag, not in a capsule, not in nothing. This was back in 2017. So when you know better, you do better. I may have referred local clinics, but not realizing my situation, and I'm unable to afford the 30K price. Oh, girl, yeah, 30K a cycle that's rough. Good lord. Um, United Healthcare, they offer it, but my employer didn't have that option. But my insurance did cover all my labs. I only had to pay for my meds, which wasn't that much. See, that's good. Yeah. And then some of them, like in some of the states, it's mandatory that they have like a minimum amount of coverage, irrespective, like your employer has to have that irrespective of who they contract their insurance through. So yeah, insurance is very tricky. My husband's insurance covers doula costs, but mine doesn't. Yeah. And you got to be familiar with the insurance information. Like, don't be afraid to ask. Sometimes it's not in writing, but it is an insurance coverage that you have. Like mine, I'm trying to think, like, I get 12 um, acupuncture treatments covered. I go out of network, so I have to submit them. But I was doing acupuncture as fertility treatments, and then independence would kick them back, and I had to go to the employee advocate because it insurance says I get 12 acupuncture a year no matter what. It doesn't eliminate, it doesn't specifically say except for fertility, right? So the insurance people were like, oh, this isn't part of our fertility coverage. But my employer was like, it doesn't matter because we let her have 12 acupuncture treatments a year that she doesn't have to pay for. I mean, I had to pay a little because I was out of pocket. Um, Oh, that's funny. Isn't that I'm watching this Daryl Brooks thing and he was telling the judge she was out of pocket, but I mean out of pocket cost. And then 12 acupuncture, 12 chiropractor. So like it's good to know the nuances of it too so that you have a leg to stand on. Don't be afraid to appeal because I feel like most insurance companies their first thing is to tell you no. Um Appeal it and see what happens. I have Cigna and they cover fertility, but not the meds. Gotcha, Alina. Okay. Yeah, so my medication is not through Independence at all. And Independence covers no medication. There's a separate medication insurance that I have through oh my god, CVS. The meds are covered through there and it's excellent. But also my regular insurance doesn't cover mental health. There's a separate insurance for mental health. So like just be really familiar. Don't be afraid. There are no dumb questions when you're asking about what your benefits are and what you're paying for, because you're, even if you're only paying $2, you're paying something. And your employer is paying the rest. That's a benefit of yours. So it's being paid on your behalf. So you have the right to like be informed. I'm so lopsided on here. Sorry guys. I can tell because the bed is like this in the frame instead of straight across. But that's okay. We're gonna keep it going. Yeah, $30,000 a cycle is a lot. I did see Heather, like some ladies were saying, I can't remember, but recently, like last week, someone said they were doing a cycle somewhere. It might have been at Shady Grove, don't quote me, where they were getting guaranteed cycles. So if they didn't get like a viable embryo or maybe even a pregnancy out of it, that clinic would cover for another cost. So maybe research that. I don't know if it's area specific, clinic specific. It might be limitations, like if you're above this age or whatever, but they're guaranteeing a take home baby. Hey Storm, happy Saturday to you too. In Canada, we get up to 18 months, minimum 12 months. No, we do not. When I first started with my employer, they offered 12 months, but that was right as so I work for NBC Universal. That was when GE owned it. Comcast was just taking over, and Comcast reduced it to 6 months. But I'm okay with that. I had 6 weeks with Cheyenne. I'm already like, I filled up our calendar because I'm like, what am I going to be doing for these 6 months? Girl, we taking swimming lessons. We're taking music lessons, sign language lessons. We're going to be busy for those 6 months. But yeah, Canada has a lot of benefits. And don't you guys have like NHS, like national healthcare, or no? I believe you guys have some sort of healthcare because I remember reading about it like during COVID, how like some countries were covered and some countries it was all employer based and people were suffering because of that. I call my insurance company so much I probably met the whole. I know that's right. Call them, find out what are they gonna do. Did you have a 3 or 5 day transfer? Which did they say is best? So I'm not sure who they is, but I think what is best is patient specific, based on patient receptivity and based on embryo quality. So with my very first transfer in 2018, I had a 3 day transfer. Meaning the embryo was 3 days old, or even if it's called an embryo at that point, it might just be called a blast. No, it's not a blast. Whatever. Whatever the little entity you want to call it. In 2018, I had a 3 day. And then in 2021, I had four 5 days, and 22 I had five. Well, from now on they're going to be 5 days because they're all frozen at 5 days. We didn't do any 6 day. So yeah. I have Cigna. They don't cover acupuncture. However, they cover physical therapy, which has acupuncture. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, well, there you go. I love my acupuncture. Hey, Tamika TTC. What's cracking? What's popping? What's good? I caught you twice. Because I caught you, I think, last Sunday. I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram, so I'll say it here. Baby is head down again. Baby went head down without acupuncture. Like the day that I had my scan is the same day I had acupuncture that night. So I found out baby was head down again. But doctor was like, it really only matters after 34 weeks. So today I'm 34 weeks. So hopefully on Wednesday when I go again, baby remains head down. And everything else looks good. I still have the hydrominos, whatever it is, excess fluid in my excess amniotic fluid. But they said it could level out, so we'll see. Coming on from soccer with, oh nice, he's playing football. Very cute. How old is he now? Hey Sharita, thank you. I appreciate you. So yeah, I think that's it. I believe I put in this description. If not, I'll do it in a second. My BuyBuyBaby registry, my Amazon, I've gotten a lot of stuff on there. The main thing I need to get now is the Halo bassinet. And I think that's pretty much it. I've ordered the Nuna, so that's coming. Crib is coming Monday. They're putting it together. Hopefully this painter is showing up to get this nursery painted today. I don't want to get the mural installed until. Oh, now he's saying before 1, I'll be there. Okay. Um, but I need to run to the post office before it closes, so I will expect you at 1. Yeah. Because I am actually sending meds to one of the TTC sisters. So yeah, I'm telling them. So, how are you gonna make an appointment for 10, and then tell me, um, you'll text me when you're on your way, 10 a.m. Now I'm asking at 11:30 because I haven't heard from you. How are things going? Good. Before 1, I will be there. And this is somebody Home Depot recommended because that's where I ordered the paint. Like, good lord. And he was trying to do my mural, and I was like, I haven't even seen you paint. I don't know about you doing. I'm glad I did separate that. He tried to double charge me for the mural so he could make the point. It's cheaper if you do it all at once. I'm sure it is. That is not my concern. I need it to be done right because I can't have it looking raggedy. So you paint everything first. Let me see what that's looking like. Because you were recommended for paint, not for wallpaper. Um Anyway, don't get me started. So it's 11:50. Yeah. Can the lining be too thick for transfer? Example, 16 millimeter. It can be. I'm gonna refer you to your medical professional because I don't want to. I'm not a medical professional. I've seen people transfer at that or not. There's a great website, NC. I think it's NCMBI or NCBI. Yeah, National Center for Biotechnology Information. They publish a lot of articles. I would recommend checking that out. Um, because I don't know what your medical situation is. 6 months is awesome. My job only does the 6 weeks and 12 weeks for C-section with only 3 weeks paid by the government, and the remainder comes out of sick or vacation. Oh wow. So they don't really offer you paid leave then if the government is paying for it. Um Sick and vacation. Yikes. Yeah, no, I get the 6 months and then I also get 5 weeks after I come back. Like they can't be consecutive up until the baby is a year old. So like I said, I'm coming back the week after Thanksgiving. So I can take a week off in December, a week off in January, a week off in February, a week off in March. Because baby will be a year old in June, right? So I get 5 weeks after I come back. Just not consecutive. I wonder why that's interesting that it's 12. I mean, it's good that it's 12 weeks for a cesarean, but is that because it takes longer? I know for because I had to call because the doula had me do that early on. Was like call to find out how many days you get for vaginal covered in the hospital and how many days you get covered for cesarean. Because she put me up on game. You could actually stay longer than that, but it's important to know how many days your insurance covers that, and then coordinate with the hospital and let them know you'll pay out of pocket if you feel like you need to stay more. But my for vaginal, my insurance covers 48 hours fully covered, and for cesarean, they cover 70. No, it's 4 days, whatever those hours are. So, like, if I wanted to say 3 days, I would have to pay. Assuming I had a vaginal, I'd have to pay for that third day. Um, oh my God, he's 3.5. So cute. Outside playing soccer. I love it. Home Depot shaking my head, girl. Um, yeah. And trust me, if he's not here by 1, he'll be canceled and it'll be a task rabbit up in here because they task rabbit painted my room. And actually they painted all the rooms. They painted that nursery room originally for Cheyenne. She wanted it yellow. They painted this room. I did one room in the living room, and if you go in there you could tell which one I did. He finished it up for me. And then the other, one wall in the living room, sorry, and then the other walls he did, because I had one accent wall that's a different shade of blue than the other ones in the living room, and then in here, the wall that has the window and the door on it is gray. No, oh no, it's not. It's white actually. I just looked at it. The recess part where the window and the door are white. And then the framing of that is gray. That wall is gray, and then these two walls are this blue color. I will have that same task rabbit out here. This man ain't gonna hold up all my day. Um, and I probably can get the task rabbit here tomorrow because I wanted it to. The crib is they're putting the crib together on Monday. I just wanted it to be painted before the crib gets here. Because I don't want. I mean, I know you can cover it, but like, why not just get it done before? And then I can lay the rugs out so they can unroll. And yeah, hopefully my elephant ottoman can get here. If UPS tells me I have to go to UPS and pick that up, I'm gonna be mad because it's like 50 pounds. So that means I don't have to get an Uber to get back. And it's like, why did I pay for shipping? The UPS people are the laziest people. They're always like, it says the business is not open. Bruh, this is the condominium. Like, it's not a business. Press the button. We'll let you in. I did ovarian rejuvenation PRP at RFC and NYC. Girl, no, I have not heard of RFC. PRP, for those who don't know, is what is it? Oh my god, now I can't even. I know they have PRP facials. It's something. I can't think of it. Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. It's something rejuvenation. Platelet rich plasma. Oh my god, I had it all wrong. I know I've had a PRP facial. So let's see, PRP, and then you said RFC and NYC. This you did what I do to my SVP, where I'll come in and I'll be like, the ANC from the JFC, and he's like, say what now? Oh no, RFC is not coming up. I don't know which one that is, but yeah, I have not heard of them. How long ago did you do it, and did you see any different results in your hi? Justice can I help you. You want to come over here? Are you okay? No? Okay. Um, I've read mixed things about it. A lot of ladies have asked me about it, but I haven't seen any conclusive studies that showed definitively there was an improvement in um, retrieval outcomes or embryo quality outcomes. Hey, Leah's mom. I'm starting not to trust Home Depot. They recommend people to do my fence, and they were so professional. Care more about whether I wanted to mate out my dog. Oh my God, Leah, you are reading my mind because already this is given unprofessional, and I don't play that. So if he's not here by 12:45, whenever he shows up, he can go right on back where he came from. Like I don't have nothing to do all day. Because literally I was like, oh, I'll do a 15-minute live while I'm waiting, and it's 11:57. He was supposed to be here after 10. Um, love it. Hey, thanks, Jan Joy. Don't get me to. I love TaskRabbit too, especially if I've worked with them before. And this guy, he was about that painting life. Um, but like I said, this guy got an attitude when I told him I needed two separate work orders for. Let me see if I can find this for the painting versus the wallpaper. And I sent him video. He wanted to know the color of the paint. I was like, it's whispering whatever. So I said to like, why does that part matter? Wouldn't you rather know like if you got the kind that is full coverage, has the primer in it, not the color. Anyway, so I sent him a video of the room. I sent him the wallpaper. I explained that it was separate paste. Um so he was like, if it's now, I already said I wanted two different work orders. He was like, if it's one day wallpaper and painting, it will cost around 700 to 800. If it's separate, then painting will cost 400 and 600 for wallpaper. So basically, $1,000. It's going to go from 700 to 800 to $1,000, which was fine by me because I need to know. Haven't seen your paint. You haven't sent me pictures of how your painting is. I don't know if you leave a mess. And painting is much easier than wallpaper that doesn't have oh my god, the sticky on it is separate, right? It's not pre-gummed, pre whatever. So, no, you're not doing both. I need to see, and I don't know if you're gonna try to cheat and not paint the other wall. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what funny business might be going on in there. And then I wanted him to do it on Friday. He was offended that he might have to work on Friday, but clearly you're working on Sunday, so it's not, or Saturday. It's not that you're Jewish and can't work. You know what I mean? Like, what was offensive about Friday? I work from home on Friday. Um. So yeah. Anyway, so I put, can we start at 10? He said, okay, thumbs up. Then he did a confirmation last night. He needed the full address. I'll text you when I'm on my way. 11:33. I sent him the note. How are things going? Good. Before 1, I'll be there. Is that a statement or a question, buddy? So he got till 12:45 because that's before 1. If he ain't here and I told him I got stuff to do. Don't annoy a pregnant lady. I don't have time to just be waiting. Oh, thumbstack. I haven't heard of that. I have to check that out. Plasma rejuvenation. Yes, platelet rich plasma. Like I said, I've done it for facials. I've not done it for my ovaries. I am not freezing the placenta. The placenta is going to go wherever biohazard goes in the hospital. I did low volume PRP, no benefit from reselling. Oh no, sorry, Heather. Yeah, I haven't seen in the studies. I have not seen where they've had a different outcome. Meaning, for me, if I were going to do that, it would be for a chance to use my own eggs, right? I would have I would want an improved outcome from my improved volume from my egg retrieval, meaning more eggs were called to action. And I would want improved fertilization rate and improved overall embryo quality because it's expensive and it's not covered by insurance. So, other than that, because I've seen studies where people were like, oh, they didn't have their period and they got their period back. Well, that wasn't an issue for me. Like, my period didn't go MIA. So, I don't know if that means that's the beginning of the awakening and then you have to have more. So first you get your period back and then it improves. Like, it just seemed nebulous to me. The description seemed nebulous. But everybody has to decide like what you're doing with your own money. Just like, I might like organic eggs and you might be like, oh, I'm fine with the regular eggs. Your money, your life, your time. So yeah, if it makes you feel good and you have the money to do it and that's what you choose to do with your money, I'm all for it. If you like it, I love it, as my mom would say. PRP to stimulate the ovaries. I'm your age, no period for 2 years. I did it in January and I'm starting to get follicles, watching them each week to see if anything grows enough for retrieval. Oh, awesome. Okay. So you have a plan and you have clear expectations. So that's good, right? You have goals and like, okay, I'm looking to hit this or hit that by this time. I always feel like that's reasonable and not just like, let me give you all my money and I hope I get pregnant. Which I'm not judging anybody who does that. I get it. It's infertility is not for the faint of heart. So yeah, going to try for baby 2 as single mom by choice. Is there alternative to progesterone oil shots? I had to do 3 months of shots and I just can't do it. So painful. Talk to your doctor. Some of them do suppositories, so you're going to insert it in your hoo-ha. Some of them do oral. I know my very first which unfortunately ended in miscarriage, I had the foam progesterone. That was my favorite of all. You insert it vaginally, like it's in the. It looks like it's one of those yeast infection applicators, but it's foam once it gets in there and it just stays. Because with the suppositories, there's kind of like that drip, drip, drip. But yeah, there's options. I think the clinics like the PIO because it's easy to measure when you go in of like how much your body is absorbing, where the other ones it's a little harder to track. But yeah, there's other options. I do not miss those progesterone and oil shots. Only when 10 weeks came, I couldn't get rid of that stuff fast enough. Can you get it? I haven't paid anything yet, Isaiah, so it won't even be I'm telling you, if he does not ring this bell by 12:45, he can keep on going. Um, I do not, One thing you don't do is waste my time. I have been doing sound healing therapy and got my period back after like 6 months without it. Oh, nice. Is that like where they're ringing the bell? Like where they have, because Cheyenne was doing some kind of sound healing here with the bowls. I'm sure that's mentally relaxing too. I have a thing on my face if you guys are wondering. I had a dark spot and there's a patch with micro darts in it. Because I'm sure you know, especially if you're melanated when you're pregnant, you're more likely to have the increased estrogen in the body increases the chance of like pregnancy mass, dark like spotting, extra melanin. I have one, and so I had a mark here. That's just to help. It's like got transenzymic acid in it and some other stuff to help for coloring. I also have this wicked bruise. Well, it was a bruise on my knee. Now it's just a dark spot. So I'm looking forward to. Although hands down, much easier skincare issues this time than when I was pregnant with Cheyenne. I like the sound healing. Do you plan to travel with baby to 100% love? Hey, I was talking about you earlier in the. I ordered the Nuna as soon as it. Well, I'm not gonna say as soon as it comes. Once it gets here, I'll do a video on it. But yeah, I do plan to. I'm thinking in September I will go out to California to see my family. Since I have time, like I said, I'm out for 6 months, so I definitely plan to go there and probably go to LA too. Um, so I will definitely be using my Nuna car seat on the plane, and well, the whole thing. I'll be using the whole travel kit. So yeah, but I definitely want to go out there. My sister is going to be the godmother, so I'm having the ceremony probably in Sacramento. I don't know if I'll have it in Fresno, and her husband hopefully will be the godfather, but I just have to ask him. I thought I was being slick and she was gonna ask for me, but she was like, "Oh no, you can ask." Then she sent me a note like the other day, like, he hasn't heard from you or something is oddly. I was like, "Oh no, it's not oddly because I haven't contacted him, so that's why he hasn't heard from me." But yeah, so we'll have the christening out there. I've got to find a church. So yeah, Sugar Bear and I will definitely be out in California. Where do you get the patch? They do work well. Girl, I don't know. I order so many things offline. I'll post a picture on Instagram. I'm trying to see. I think they're I can't do it. I know it's like they call them micro darts in there. Let me see if I can Google it real fast. Micro dart patches. There's a bunch of them on here. Peach Slices makes them. They're on Amazon, but that's not the one I have. I've got an orange packet. Micro dart. What if I do micro dart patches skin? Like an orange packet. I'll post it. I'll post it either on the community tab here on IG. Like I'll snap a picture of it. But yeah, they're good. And you can leave like it's meant to be on for 48 hours. So I can put makeup on top of it and keep it moving. But because I don't have on any makeup right now, I can see it shining when I turn my head. Um Yes, with program water, singing bowls, and tuning forks. Yes. Yeah, I remember when Cheyenne would do it and play it in her room. It just like you can feel the vibration in your body changing and calming down. So that's good. Yeah. Um, they will love it. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. One, just because so many people came out for the shower, it was cool. Like all the local people, and one of my sisters flew in from Arizona. The only non local, my niece who lives in Maryland didn't come out, and my cousin who lives in DC didn't come out. But her son is getting married this year, and so I know they have a lot of travel because he's getting married, I think, in like Alabama or something. And so I didn't take it personal that she didn't come, but I definitely want everybody to see Sugar Bear, meet Sugar Bear. I think I said this before. One of my uncles, my uncle Nathan, was like, "Yeah, we all been in this. We finally made it." And I'm like, "We?" He was like, "Well, we've seen all your tears and blah blah blah." And so it definitely feels like a collective. It's interesting. It's time. It's time because I don't feel like not that people weren't excited that Cheyenne was here, but that we weren't all as vocal. I think just as time has gone on, as we've all had appropriate amounts of therapy and reconnecting and learning to communicate better with each other. It's a nice feeling. Like, I cannot express to you like how loved I felt at my shower. Like, I felt like I was showered with love. And everybody was excited. And so, right, Justice? I know. And so I just can't wait to go back for everybody to actually meet Sugar Bear. That's somebody else. They're singing outside. The weather is getting nice, so they're gonna start closing the streets down again. Justice. Oh my god, let me let her outside so she could go hear the music. Okay, hold on, I'm coming, girl. Wait. You coming too, Liberty? You wanna go outside? Oh my god. Okay, I might as well show you guys why we out here. The foolishness that happens in Harlem. There you go. Can you guys see it? Oh, I think they're protesting. And I was formerly incarcerated for 6 years for cause that might have been prevented. Okay. Oh no, I thought you wanted to be out here, Justice. Where are you going? Justice, come on out here. Come on. Go play with Liberty. Oh my god. Okay. Well, Liberty is out there. Don't pay attention to my background. There's boxes everywhere. I got can you guys see down there? That is a high chair to eat out of. I got a short chair to put the other chair in. I'll show you guys what's going on in the paint room, or the room that has not been painted. Here's my pile of stuff. There's like clothes in here. I gotta wash these clothes. It's very echoey. There's the carpet rolled up and the padding for the carpet. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram, but I'll show you, because last week I was in here and it was a mess. Now it's much more organized in the built-ins. So for the diapers, the ones that we'll use straight away are down here. And then there's some newborn ones right here. The size 1 Huggies here. The Natties, this is, what is that? Those are also newborn. The Natty, these are like eco-friendly diapers that I got. And then a whole thing of the wipes are here. More stuff up there. The dolls, which I love. I gotta find a home for these though. The bath. This is one of the diaper caddies. I'm stretching it out because it had, like, it was the way that it was packaged, it was all folded up. And then let's see. Down here is like the towels and whatnot. I got a bunch of these hooded towels. The little washcloths. This, I don't know. Is this like for them to wash themselves with? Oh no, it's a security blanket. So that, and then this stuff I gotta get organized down there. I need, let's see if I can get back up. I didn't got all the way down here. I need more of these. So these I got from my registry. I'm gonna order 2 more sets because I want to organize all the diapers in those. But yeah. So that got organized. This I still need to situate. I got one of the another caddy here, and the diaper cake. You can't see because of the light. The diaper cake is over there, but yeah. So I made progress at least in getting it organized. The stuff that's under there are the boxes that I gotta go through. And a giant teddy bear. And yes, I'm winded. I'm out of breath. Oh no, Justice, because you wanted to come back in here. I'm not gonna keep running to that door. I don't know who you think your mama is. Okay, here we go. Now let's get back into bed. So yeah, that's all I got going on, ladies. I hope everyone is well. Yes. Sugar Bear is Sugar Bear is definitely love. That is for sure. Um, have you noticed any thinning? My hair was always, well, not always. My hair has been thin, I would say, since I hit my 40s. And it kind of scares me because I know I've been watching videos where everyone is like, right after the baby, I lost volume. But really, when I wear it curly, you can't tell because there's like so much volume when it's in its natural state. I can see how thin it is when it's straightened, right? Um, but the curls are usually like out to here. So it'll be back curly. But I think I'll leave it like this until delivery. This is just easier to do. Thank you, CMP. I got them from my registry. I got to do my thank you notes. So I got like a stack of thank you notes that I need to send out. Luckily, Amazon gives you like everybody's name and address. I'm going to print it all out. Actually, that should be on my list for tomorrow. Print them all out, and I could thank each person, and it tells me exactly what their gift was. And then Kay Fertility gave me the recommendation. She was like, make sure you have a separate list for the people at work. So I'm going to give the BuyBuyBaby registry. And she was like, put a little story about your journey in there. So I'm going to let them know 6 transfers, 3 miscarriages, 5 years of assisted reproductive technology, single mom by choice. A lot of the people now know that it's a single mom by choice. It's funny. Well, it's not funny. It is what it is. I was walking by and one of the schedulers, they're not in the office every day. They're coming in more now because the CEO has been like, we should be in the office more. But I walked by and one of them called herself Whisper. And mind you, I'm hard of hearing. I heard her. I didn't know she was pregnant. And then I started to go back and say, I can hear you. But then I was like, I don't care. I don't even really know this lady. But I just thought that was interesting that she felt the need to burst out with that. Like, why would you know? Why would you need to know? How does that impact your work, girl? Let me know. So yeah. All right, I'm rambling. I'm being silly. And I left Liberty outside and Justice isn't here. So I know she's gonna want to come back in soon. And in 30 minutes I'm gonna take them for a walk. I don't know where Mfufu is with his painting skills. Now he talking about I hope parking will be easy. Well, you should have thought about that before you was late. I'm not even gonna respond. I'm on my way by GPS 12:45 arriving time. I hope parking will be easy. Okay. If you ain't here by 12:45, it won't matter about the parking. Anyway, I don't drive, so I don't know about the parking situation, sir. Maybe let me don't spark up negativity. We gonna hope for the best. We gonna plan for the worst. Thank you, ladies, for coming to hang out with me. I appreciate all of you. I hope you all are having an awesome Saturday. I wish you well wherever you are on your journey. Prayers always to those still in the struggle. And all my bump buddies keep sending me DMs on Instagram. It tickles me. I'm glad to know that I'm not alone. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Bye. Baby, that's to us all.